Hello, welcome back to another episode of Locked In. He's Sam Rodriguez.
I am Sam Rodriguez. Are you
All
Megan?
right. Yeah, I was gonna hope you flip it back, but I guess that didn't work. My name is Megan Holden, and here we cover the latest and hottest NFL sports debates and NBA sports debates. Today we got a very interesting episode for you guys. Sam, can you tell us what's going on today?
All right. So we have a lot going on. You know, all these Julio rumors going around. We're going to speak a little on that. We're going to each give 4 takes on 4 different NBA playoffs. You know, a bunch of series going on, a lot of 2-2 series. So it's going to be big, 4 for 4.
4 for 4.
And then we got to talk about, of course, the NBA fans. They're getting out of line. It's kind of ridiculous now. And then our top 10 NFL teams for next season.
I said, don't forget about that. Don't forget about that. I'm kind of actually hesitant to share mine because I know I'm going to get flack for one of my teams. But it's all good. We're ready for it. To start off, though, we have NBA. Let's start off with some news, actually. So, NFL rumors to start off the show before we get to NBA injuries. Julio Jones is all over the news. Everybody's wondering, June 1st is right around the corner. That's when Atlanta can officially trade him without getting that big hit. They can get leave $15 million. So the latest rumors is Falcons, according to NFL rumors, is Falcons over the last 48 hours. The 49ers and Titans have made a strong push. The Seahawks have made jumped in, as you probably heard that Seattle QB Russell Wilson and Julio Jones have been texting about playing together. That would be another dynamic duo, but Seattle has to make a lot of cap room. And the Patriots and Ravens continue to be tomorrow in the situation. Now, also, Patriots have been favorites for a long time, but it's also been reported that they don't want to give a first round pick. Atlanta seems like that's what they want, but they will settle for a 2 as long as someone eats up the whole contract. Titans were seen as a long shot, but it seems like they're getting back into it. They have to make cap room, though. And then they do have the contracts where they can maneuver stuff. And the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan would love to have Julio back. But what would they give? Because they don't have the first round picks because they gave it to Miami to moving up in the draft. So it's going to be very interesting to see where he ends up. The Rams were also into the conversation, but it's been reported that they are no longer in pursuit. So that is for the Julio Jones update for today. Sam, also wait, hold on. We got Aaron Rodgers if Aaron Rodgers doesn't return to the Packers, it's also wondering if it's being a competition between Blake Bortles and Jordan Love. See who is up in there. If Jordan Love is not ready to start the season, they might go with Blake Bortles. It's Aaron Rodgers. So pray for Packers fans.
Yeah, those are both kind of gross options, but you gotta do.
So what do you have for us today for the NBA injury update?
All right, so there's a lot of injuries going around. We're going to talk about the biggest one right now. AD. He's out for next game. They're saying it's unlikely he's going to play in Game 5. It's a huge hit, especially with CP3 looking amazing over there. They also have KCP on the day-to-day injury list, so we're going to see how that goes. And then in a pivotal moment, you have the Nuggets in a 2-2 series, and it's like they need people there. Sorry, my little brother ran by.
You're good.
But yeah, Will Barton, he's still out for next game. They have no clue if he's going to return for that. PJ Dozer's still out for the entire series of the first round, so it's not looking too well for them. And then, of course, the injury-prone Celtics. You have Kemba day-to-day, and you have Robert Williams day-to-day again. It wasn't looking like they were going to win the series anyway, but it would have been nice to see them at full health kind of competing against this team, especially with Tatum putting up 50 and giving them that one win.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in our 4 for 4. But first thing I do want to start with is our rankings, our NFL rankings, top 10 teams that we think is gonna for the 22 seasons. Let me share screen. I don't know why I'm looking over there. I'm gonna do that little voice thingy I usually do. All right, Windows. Okay, this is me and Sam's top 10 over here. Let me know if you can see everything. Okay, Sam. Oh, no, this actually move. This like this. There we go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can see it perfectly.
All right, Sam. Do you want to get into your top 10s first? Tell me what this, how you put this list together and why.
All right, so you have to put the Bucks at first. They won the Super Bowl last year. Plus, they just got every single person they had in that team last year back. plus adding some solid players in the draft. Adding Kyle Trask is going to be a great fit behind Brady. He's going to learn from one of the best. I think that was one of their sleeper picks in the draft. The Chiefs, again, you can never count them out. Pat Mahomes is phenomenal. So is Travis Kelce. So is Tyreek Hill. As all of them. They're still looking good. That defense, though, it's kind of skittish. So you got to wait on that. The Bills, they've been looking a lot better. Josh Allen's fitting in his role. Stephon Diggs is looking great. I feel like that is going to be a team to compete, and they're probably going to win their division. The Browns, I have them up there pretty high because I'm hoping they can continue what they had last season, especially with bringing OBJ back. Hopefully it doesn't kill the chemistry they had when he got injured. So let's hope to see how that goes. Baker Mayfield looked great last season. I think he proved a lot of the haters wrong. And that defense is ridiculous, especially adding Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, they're going to be a team to fight over there. I'm telling you now, they're going to be a team to fight.
I'll wait. Go ahead.
And then 5, you get the Ravens. They just added that wide receiver in the draft. They needed more wide receivers. I feel like Lamar's going to have to adapt to pass more. The run game, it's not as spectacular as it was before. People know how he plays now. He's going to have to adjust at some point, and this year has to be the year. The Rams, that defense is still looking crazy. Plus adding Matt Stafford, I feel like he's going to be a way better quarterback in that system than Jared Goff is. He actually has weapons. He hasn't had a weapon since he had Calvin Johnson on that team. And even then, that system just didn't fit him well. So I feel like over there in LA, he's going to thrive. It's going to be a great fit. Arizona, I feel like they're going to be great still. I feel like Kyler Murray just needed a couple years to get ready. He already has DeAndre Hopkins still. They're going to be a great team over there. They just have to figure out how to play. Kyler Murray's, I feel like he's a lesser Russell Wilson right now. A little bit smaller, still same kind of game style. He just has to find his own way. And the Seahawks, we saw the take. Russell Wilson said he needed more help on offense. I mean, come on, dude. You have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. You have weapons. Plus, they're in Julio talks right now.
Yeah,
that'd be insane.
I think he was talking about O-line, which they did get. But I'm gonna let you keep going.
But if they're in Julio talks right now too, that'd be insane. It'd be unfair.
They would have to make a lot of. They have to give up something.
Yeah,
it's gonna take a hit. Somewhere's gonna take a hit. I don't think.
But it's like, how do you cover those 3 wide receivers? I mean, you got a deep threat, you got a big guy, and then you got that slot guy. I mean, that'd be kind of scary over there. See how that works out. And then 9, you have the Packers. Just because I don't know what Aaron Rodgers' situation is going to be. If he's there, they move up in the list a whole bunch. But if he's not, if he's sitting out, I mean, do they even make the top 10? That's the thing. You don't know how it's going to be yet with them because the whole situation looks kind of tricky right now. No one respects him. He doesn't respect them. It's not looking too well for them. But if he is there, they still have a solid team. And then 10, you got to give the Dolphins a chance. I mean, their draft picks, they're pairing up Tua again with his former wide receiver, Jalen Waddle. I think they're going to be great. They just have to figure out how to break that, I want to say, that young curve because they're a young team right now. And they're in a pretty tough division looking at it. The Patriots looking pretty good. The Bills are looking good. Even the Jets aren't looking that bad. They drafted pretty well this year. They're looking better than recent Jets. So
I feel like I said that every year about the Jets. Though, like,
yeah.
Most years I'm like, okay, this looks like a good draft, and it's to develop. They don't develop. There's a lot I want to touch on, but I do want to say that Seattle right now has $7 million cap space, so they will have to create over $8 million.
Yep.
Looks like either they would give back Lockett, which I doubt that Seattle want to do.
No.
I think Atlanta wants to do because Atlanta's trying to create cap space. So they have to look at either restructuring Wilson's contract to give more signing bonuses, open up cap space, but that also can hurt you longer down the road. So I know we would love the pairing of Wilson and Julio, but with the cap situation, I'm not sure if it's going to be that easy for Seattle.
No, it's going to be tough. But if they do it, I feel like Russell Wilson's getting up there in age. If they want to make a push now, they're going to have to figure something out because those guys are getting up there.
Yeah, and before we move on to that, I just want to say, like, it's going to be harder for an NFC team because they don't really want to trade them within the conference. So they're going to have to pay more. I just don't think Seattle, if they're going up to San Francisco, I think San Francisco they don't have the picks, but talent-wise, I think they do have more cheaper contracts to offer. And I think the Titans, I think there's more teams that have more to offer than Seattle. But I want to get off Julio. I want to get into our rankings. All right, so I have to say, there's a couple things I want to say to this. One, I agree with the 1 and 2. Obviously, you can see mine. Do you think Kansas City got enough O-linemen? I think they got enough O-linemen.
Yeah, they did.
The Buffalo Bills. You mentioned something. You said the division's tougher, right? To me, the Bills, obviously because of the cap situation, they didn't do much this offseason. They got Sanders, but they released Brown, which was a questionable move for me. So I'm not sure how much they improved there. Yes, the offense has another year where they can grow with Josh Allen. Took a big step last offseason. Him and Diggs has another year to get offseason together. That'll be big. Don't sleep on that. But their defense did not look great last season, for the majority of last season. They kind of have come on in the second half, but it's the secondary in their front seven. Now, they did draft 2 pass rushers who are huge, but they are raw. I just don't know if this is a well-rounded team anymore. I'm not sure. Like, that defense to me is a question mark. And to me, there's more talented teams. So Cleveland Browns, everyone needs to slow down. Everyone's ready to crown Cleveland Browns as the best offseason or stuff. Like, you mentioned Clowney, but like look how long it took him to find a place to. Like, I feel like Clowney is more of a name at this point than his production. Right? He's not matching. Like, obviously he was the first pick. He's not matching that production. Not when he was with the Texans, and he also has injury history. I don't feel like Clowney is that big of a name. To me, it was more impressive what they did with the secondary, adding those cornerbacks from that used to play with Rams. So we're gonna see how they piece it together. That's one thing about the Browns to me, is how do they piece everything together? We got OBJ coming back. Is that gonna affect the offense like it was before? Like, is Baker and him can finally connect? And then defense, how are they gonna piece it together? You also said something. You have the Cardinals in there, and they are a young team and upcoming, but they did lose a lot of. They brought in JJ Watt, but they did lose the vet leadership with Larry Fitzgerald. Still not. Looks like he might be retiring, and also you have Patrick Peterson going to another team. So it's a young team who lost a lot of veteran leadership. Which worries me. I don't know. I get Kyle Murray has a talent, but they also brought in AJ Green. But AJ Green looked like he was over the hill last year. Would you agree? Like, he's not in his prime anymore. I'm not sure how effective he's going to be.
He really didn't have help last year, though, when Joe Burrow went down. I mean, who they have at quarterback?
That's true, but he wasn't doing much when he came back, to begin the season either. Like, to me, obviously, after that injury, you're going to step now. After 1 year off the injury, maybe he is, but I mean, he's up there in age. It's just maybe we're just trying to replace Larry Fitzgerald at that point. And then Seattle's defense scares me, but they did have offensive line. The defense is going to stay healthy. The Packers. You think, is this with Aaron Rodgers or without Aaron Rodgers?
That's with Aaron Rodgers right there.
Okay, yeah. But do you think he's going to play this season?
That's the thing. I don't know yet, because I'm seeing so many reports that he's going to play even if something happens, or he's not going to play, he's going to sit out, or they're going to trade him. I've seen so many different things. Right now I'm banking on him staying there as of right now until I hear more.
Him being reported that he was saying goodbye to people, like, that's very telling to me, and that him declining that contract. It makes me think that he's not going to blink. Like, he's not going to waver. He has a Jeopardy thing lined up if this goes south. Like, he can just do that for the season. But I think the Packers, with the right leading off the list, is you get that big asterisk mark of if Aaron Rodgers plays. And I'm not sure if he plays. And if he doesn't play, that changes your whole team, because now you got Devontae Adams you got to worry about. Talking about, I'm not sure what I want to do, like, given the QB situation. There's your offense right there. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Yes, you got a great running back, but you still need a spaced offense so they don't stack the box against you. And without Devontae Adams, you want to draft cornerbacks, your best wide receivers in the Mario Rodgers, who's a middle round pick, who's a pretty solid slot wide receiver, but he's a rookie. So Packers, to me, I don't know if they there's just too many question marks. And Miami Dolphins, yes, I love Brian Flores. I love the young team. They did lose some veteran leadership because they want to go younger. But again, they also Tua. I love Tua. I think people overlooking him. I thought he did show us some things, especially against Kansas City last season. But also, I think I'd rather trust a more veteran team. I'm going to get into it in a second. It's going to be interesting to see how they develop, right? But I think they are definitely a team upcoming, and that people need to watch out for. All right, so I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Kansas City Chiefs. The Rams, people are sleeping on. The Rams have the top defense. And I feel like what was holding the Rams back was Jared Goff. He's gone. They got Stafford. That offense, you have Kupp, you have Woods, who's a great wide receiver, and you just added Deshaun Jackson, who, if he can stay healthy, can be a really good wide receiver number 3. And then especially you can have Sean McVay as a coach. That's going to be a fun offense. That's going to be a very fun offense. Defense to the top league. If they can stay healthy, I feel like they're definitely a fourth. They're the best team. I feel like they can compete with the Buccaneers. as one of the best teams, if the best team for the NFC. It's just about health and how well the Stafford fit into that new offense. Baltimore Ravens, I feel like people are sleeping on the fact that they added wide receivers in this draft who are great route runners and reliable hands. They have reliable hands, which
finally
Lamar Jackson needed. I feel like Lamar Jackson gets a lot of flack, but people forget he didn't really have reliable weapons. Yeah, you have Hollywood Brown, great speedster, but he's kind of like a poor man's Deshaun Jackson when he's not consistent. And then you have Mark Andrews, who was dropping a lot of passes last season. And they were running a lot of the same things. So I feel like a lot was relied on him. So hopefully these young wide receivers can, give some relief. Defensively, they lost 2 pass rushes, but I'm not that worried about it because it seems like Baltimore always has a great defense. It's more their scheme, right? It's more the system. So I think with the offense, obviously, we know what they're capable of. When you have everything going, Lamar Jackson's a great QB, can make plays. Then you got 2 wide receivers that you can count on. We'll see. I think they have the talent and they have a defense, for sure defense, which is why I put them over the Cleveland Browns, which I want to see their defense, how they comes together. Because Cleveland Browns have done this before where they get a bunch of talent, everyone gets excited, and they let you down. I get they had one great season, but let's see let's get a little bit more consistency. Buffalo Bills, again, their defense to me is not what it was 2 seasons ago. And people I feel like forgot about that. They drafted 2 big defensive ends, like I said, but they're raw. They're in a tough division now. I'm just not sure if they're they didn't really get much better. Where I feel like everybody else got much better. And then I have Seattle Seahawks because of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's the answer there. You got DK, obviously you have DK Metcalf. You have Tyler Lockett. A better offensive line. It's just that defense. Reason why I'm having down on the list. Defense, especially the secondary, I think they had the 31st worst passing defense in the league last season. Part of it was due to health, but even when healthy, they're not the Seattle defense from the past. Legion of Boom, that's over. They have to rebuild that defense. Especially, to me, that's what's going to hold them back this season. That's why I have them below the top 5, the top 10. San Francisco 49ers, they just need to stay healthy. That's their biggest thing. Their logo should have been a Band-Aids last season. They were banged up really bad, but they still somehow had a really great defense. That tells me a lot. They had great depth. Jimmy Garoppolo being healthy is also going to be a key factor here. Even though I think Trey Lance can be a great QB, he's not ready yet. They drafted him in the mind that they're going to develop him. So Jimmy Garoppolo needs to stay healthy. They do have some great playmakers on offense. Great yards after catch ability. You got Brandon, you got Debo there. You got obviously George Kittle. You have offensive weapons. It's just about health with them. New England Patriots, stop sleeping. Listen, this is the one I know I'm going to get flack for. People don't realize that our defense the reason why we won games when we had to win a season when Brady was here, because that defense was a difference maker. Last season, they lost all their starting linebackers and a safety. So they couldn't really rush the quarterback like they used to. What they did this offseason, they brought back Kyle Lowry, which is huge, had a great season for Miami last season. Dante Hightower was coming back from opt-out. And they got a bunch of front 7 guys to not only help with the pass rush to mix things up, but also to stop the run, which they struggled with last season. So I think their defense is going to be top of the league again. And also, they added offensive weapons. And if they get Julio, I think this certifies this spot, I think, definitely as a playoff team. It just all depends on the QB situation with them, obviously. Because they have 2 tight ends who can get open. You can move around. You have wide receiver Nelson Eckler, who seems like he's doing great with this making a difference with his speed in the offseason program right now. And you have Jacoby Myers show some things, and you have a solid running game. If you get Julio, that definitely takes it to the next level. But I think you have at least enough pieces to get points on the board. And the Chargers are a young team. I think they are the biggest thing with them. I think last season was the coaching. They always had the talent, right? But they couldn't take the next level. So I think coaching is a big thing. And they also added defense. They got Chris Harris. I know you know that guy.
Oh, I know Chris Harris.
So I think the defense is going to take. They weren't that bad last season. The defense is more middle of the pack. I think they can take another jump. And Justin Herbert, this offseason, You got Keenan Allen there. You still got Eckler there. Yes, they lost Hunter Henry, but they got a vet in Jared Cook. I think their offense is still going to be can be top of the league, and their defense could be very solid.
Yeah, one thing about the Chargers is that coaching. They always have the offensive firepower. They just got to figure out how to use it. Right. And now Justin Herbert's there, Keenan Allen's there, Jared Cook. They got to figure out how to use those guys, get them in the right spot to win, because they're always a contender in that division. But that division's so tough. I mean, the Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs. That's a tough division, one of the toughest in the NFL, I'd assume. Mm-hmm. And it's hard because when they battle each other, they're all putting out their best, and the Chargers always seem to fall short in that division.
Absolutely. Now, any rebuttals to this before we move on to our 4-for-4?
I think they're all valid points. I just don't see the 49ers being up there yet.
Okay.
I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo had that one good start with them, and then after that it was kind of like iffy.
Yeah.
But if he can stay healthy and they can figure it out, I feel like it'll be a good development task for Trey Lance, falling behind Jimmy Garoppolo, who was behind Brady. So I think it's all just time will tell with that team.
Yeah. To me, this is not because of Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is there as a plus. It's mostly because of the defense being healthy. Because we've seen when they even went to the Super Bowl, it's the defense who carried that team, right? Not Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo just did enough. The defense is the difference maker here. And if they're healthy, that can be very scary. Now, let's get into our NBA 4-for-4 thoughts. Now, I know you probably got some things you want to think about. We got Lakers and Celtics fans here. So, I mean, it hasn't always been sunny for us or bright for us.
No.
It's definitely a different playoffs. But my 4-for-4 thoughts, I would go first here. Let me stop sharing the screen because we're not on the NFL anymore. Let me get back our banner. So my 4-for-4 thoughts, I will start with the Nets and the Celtics. So with that series, for the Celtics, it's just biggest thing with them is you're not gonna pull upset this series. But the biggest thing is I think show and fight, and what Celtics fans can see this is yes, they show like it's great to see so fight from them, but it seems like they don't keep it up for fourth quarters, and that's the biggest thing. But Jason Tatum taking that next level, getting 50 points, can he do it on a consistent basis? Can he carry a team? But let me tell you, Kemba Walker's out, Robert Williams is out. Then you have obviously Jaylen Brown still out. I look at the team and sometimes I'm like, why is Jason Tatum even playing? Like, why is Jason Tatum even in when we're down 15-20? I know this was time in the fourth, but this is over. So to me, it's like a battle of do you let Jason Tatum carry the Celtics? You let them try to fight and try to maybe steal another game or two, or do you rest them and make sure he doesn't get injured and make sure you're going in healthy for next season? That's something I think the Celtics should start thinking about because if Kemba stays out and Robert Williams is out, there's no chance. There's already a little chance, but there's really no chance that you're gonna take the series. And for the Nets, honestly, if I'm the Bucks, I'm looking at this like, okay, you have flaws. It seems like obviously they didn't play much games together. I think it was 6 or 8 games they played together during the regular season, and you can kind of see that because it looks like it's like they just take turns. Kevin Durant goes off for a couple runs, then you have Kyrie Irving goes on, and you have James Harden takes a couple shots, and then the role players at times look lost. Like they might get a shot here and there, but it's like what do we do? So I think that is a scary thing because when you play those top teams right now, you're playing a depleted roster. When you play those top teams like a deep team like the Bucks, when you're going to be playing the next round, that's not going to work. You got to play as a team because once you guys go to the bench, if someone goes cold, once you have those long stretches, that deep team is going to take advantage of that. And talking about the Bucks, I did not think they were going to sweep Miami. I think the Bucks, everyone was talking about the Drew Holiday trade and like, oh, they gave up too much. It's paying off because not only do they keep Giannis, but now they don't have to use Giannis too much, rely on him too much to play offense, which I think was key for them to go further in this playoffs. Heat, I know everybody wants to be down in Heat, but Heat, I said at the beginning of the season, that's my prediction. They're not going to be as good this season because they were riding momentum and the underdog mentality. You can't do that when you just went to NBA Finals. You can't run the underdog mentality when you were just in the NBA Finals. People will be like, I want to play, you're a tough playing team. I want to play hard against you. That's what teams going to come in and do. And Jimmy Butler was, had injuries. He wasn't right this season. He had COVID. It was a tough season for him. I feel like they should have went after Kyle Lowry. I think this offseason they have to make a move because you have 76ers got together. You have the Bucks now you see are gelling. It's a question mark for what's going on with the Celtics, but the Nets, they have 3 stars. You have to make a move to put yourself, get you another star to put you in the competition. Jimmy Butler and Bam are great, but you have too many role players that kind of do the same thing. And then I'll switch over to the Lakers and Suns because I'm gonna transition to you after I say this. The Lakers and Suns. I said it before this playoff started. I think the Suns were gonna win it in 6 because to me, the Lakers weren't going in fully healthy with Anthony Davis and LeBron were not fully healthy. LeBron even said that he's not the same, not gonna be the same. And then Anthony Davis, anytime you deal with a leg injury like that, it's tricky. One wrong move. We saw it with KD. We saw it before with Cousins. It can get you over. And Anthony Davis also always injured. I just feel like it takes a toll. So to them, they can't carry as much a bigger load, even though you see in some games they're still going off. But eventually it takes a toll. And I'm looking at your role players. Who's gonna step up? Besides Dennis, you can't really rely on anybody else in this team to step up. It seems like one guy is on and off given the game. And then the Suns, what I like about the Suns, when I watch them, they play more as a team. They set each other up. Chris Paul is hurt, but it seems like you have Ayton stepping up. You have Booker obviously there. You have Payne coming off the bench stepping up. They play more as a team and more together. Where the Lakers are a 2-man show, and I feel like that's going to hurt the Lakers, and that's going to prevent them from going far in the playoffs.
So Chris Paul actually played in Game 4.
Yeah, he was
healthy. No, he played healthy.
He's not fully healthy.
Yeah, he played pretty healthy. They look. I mean, that Suns team without Chris Paul, they're nothing. We saw when he went out, they broke down. Chris Paul is the mastermind behind that team. Mm-hmm. He finds ways to spread the floor. He finds ways to get guys involved. And without him, they kind of seem to break down a little bit, as we saw in the Lakers' 2 wins. And go ahead.
I'm gonna say, so he was questionable going in with a shoulder injury, so he's not fully healthy, but he's well enough to play, which is big. Yeah. But obviously, when you're not fully healthy, it does take a toll. And Chris Paul and out status in the playoffs always kind of shaky. Okay.
But I feel like the way Chris Paul plays, he's not really trying to get physical with guys. So his injury list, he's gonna step back more. So even if he is playing a little hurt, he's not gonna risk injury again because he's more of a facilitator than anything, and that's what the Suns need. The Suns need that facilitator. And, I mean, he was in the MVP conversation, in my opinion, Chris Paul.
Yeah.
He brought this team from the play-in spot to the number 2 seed looking amazing. And with the Lake – oh, go ahead.
I said, let me ask you, though. So point I bring up, do you think if he's hurt, you think that you trust the Sun team to step up? Or you think it's going to be more like the Lakers when Anthony Davis, when his star is hurt, it's going to be like you're going to go down? So
if Chris Paul is out, the Lakers are going to win the last 2 games easily.
Okay. I think if he's hurt, if he's not, obviously he's not 100%, but you could see if he starts taking a toll, do you think they can carry the load?
Yeah. Okay. No, I feel like the Lakers will take – I feel like the Lakers are still going to win this series. I feel like if Chris Paul is playing injured and he's not at his top peak, they're going to win that game. It's going to be a little bit more of a struggle, but I feel like Dennis needs to show up. He needs to show out a lot more than he has been. Yeah. Even get Montrezl Harrell off the bench and get him to play. He's a great rebounder. He's a great offensive presence. And I feel like he'd get under DeAndre Ayton's skin. He played for that Clippers team. He's there to talk. And he'll play it, and he'll back it up. Yeah. So put him in more, give him some playing time. Because you have Marc Gasol, who's probably one of the nicest guys in the NBA. He's really not going to try to get under Ayton's skin. You got to get Montrezl Harrell in there, give a rotation going.
All right, keep going. I'm listening. It's just like the Lakers' playoff chances. My laptop is dying, so I just fix it real quick.
Yeah. What about your Celtics, huh? Yeah, exactly.
The funeral is already had. The funeral is already over.
But, LeBron, I feel like he has to step up. He has to pull back into that 2016, 2017 LeBron, even 2018 LeBron carrying in the playoffs. Yeah. It's going to be that time. But he has a better team than he had those 2 times, I feel. When he came back from that 3-1 series against the Warriors, he has a better team right now. Everyone has to play together. They were all injured, and it's hard because no chemistry was built.
But
the Suns have been – yeah, but he's fine still. You've seen games throughout the season. You've seen games throughout the season when if he has to, he'll do it. And I feel like at this point, it's like getting up there. He's not going to want to be down 3-2. He's not going to want to have to win 2 games back-to-back. He's going to want to win these 2 and just get out quick. If he is preserving himself for the later rounds, he can't do that. He has to do it now because with AD out, he needs to pick up that load big time.
Is he preserving himself or is he actually still kind of injured? Because he said he's not going to be the same. I don't think he's fully healthy. And a couple years older, I think it's unfair for him to have to carry a load. When you do have capable players, what I feel like what happened with these players is they got comfortable. They got comfortable with Anthony Davis and LeBron James carrying a load, and they think they're just going to come here and ride the wave instead of actually showing up.
Yeah, but he has to. I feel like he's going to have to, at least for this round, maybe 1 game at least, win that game, be up 3-2, and let them kind of push it off the rest. because AD is probably not going to come back next game. So he's going to have to step up, even get 28 points instead of 18, 25 points instead of 18. He's going to have to do a little bit more.
Now, given that Anthony Davis is not coming back, and that kind of also hurts your chances of winning, would you say, okay, restrict yourself this game, so when it comes to elimination time, when your back's against the wall and LeBron signs, you go for your full throttle, or you're much better shape? Because I feel like if this does get to a Game 7, Lakers win, but I feel like Phoenix knows that, and Phoenix is not going to try to get this to a Game 7.
Well, AD, he's looking like he's not going to be playing next game. I don't want to risk it. I don't. Because that man's built like a glass house.
Yeah, but LeBron, though, would you tell LeBron, okay, because he's talking about restrictions. I would restrict him for that game if there's a lesser chance because without the AD winning this game and just come back full throttle in elimination time.
No, you do not restrict them, especially when it's 2-2. You do not want to be down 3-2 against Chris Paul and them. You want to be up. You do not want to restrict LeBron at all. That's probably one of the – I don't think that's a good idea at all. I feel like that's like the Clippers' chances with Kawhi restricting him a little bit, and you saw what happened. Their chemistry's gone. You got to let him play. You got to let him do it. It's LeBron playoff time. He has to be there. He has to be the one to do it.
But the role players are not stepping up either way.
Yeah, that's why you need him to do it, because if you restrict him, who is to say they're going to step up right away?
But if he gets hurt or if something happens this game, you're really going to have no chances with the even more injured or out LeBron next game. And,
no, he's not going to get hurt. He's not going to get hurt. He'll be fine. He just needs to step up a little bit on that team. I know he'll be fine.
I mean, the amount of times he goes to the ground and cries, I think he's in some pain.
All right, aren't you guys down 3-1?
Yeah, I know. I already said that. I think the Celtics are already over. I will bash the Celtics with you. I have no problem with that. But Lakers, this year is just not your year. You won last year. You have that. Don't worry about next year. You guys have LeBron. Guys are always going to want to come to your team. But this year, you guys just not healthy enough, and you don't have the reliable bench.
They'll be fine. Do not count them out yet. They'll be fine.
Hey, before we go on to our next thing, though, one thing that's interesting, though, right? I think people are overlooking the fact of this quick turnaround of the season. We went to the bubble and went to the thing, because look at the teams that took long or didn't come out right? You got obviously Miami Heat, you got the Lakers, you had the Celtics, you have the Bucks. I think were out early, and then Denver Broncos. Like those teams that took a while either to get things gelling or now have injury issues. So I think people have not overlooked that of the short season or how much of an impact it had on teams.
But I feel like they'll be fine. They're going to win this series. I think Game 7, Lakers are going to finish it off.
Do you see them going far? You see them going all the way to the finals?
Yeah, I can see if they do pull together, AD comes back, I can see them doing it.
Really? Your voice
You can't count that team out. You cannot count that team out at all.
I would say this as my final thought is that there's no clear-cut team to me on either side that looks dangerous or looks unbeatable. I feel like there's no like last year in the bubble. Everyone Lakers. It's so dominant. There's no dominant team or for sure team on either side that I'm looking at. Like it's really up there.
It's everyone's game. I feel like there's still Lakers have a chance in the West. The Mavericks have a chance in the West. Trailblazers have a chance in the West. It's anyone's game over there.
All right, now we went a little bit longer than 4 for 4, but it's good. Real quick though, we want to talk about the fans crossing the line. Now, just last night, a fan in Boston has been arrested and banned for life at TD Garden after throwing a water bottle at Kyrie Irving's head in the post. While he was walking out the post-game tunnel. Now, we also seen earlier during the playoffs that Westbrook got popcorn poured on him when he was leaving, and also Trae Young got spit on by a fan, and also I guess Jay Morant's family member also got taunted by fans. Now I can't get. What's your thoughts on this? Like, this is it all part of sports, or is it fans are crossing the line?
They're crossing the line. They don't know how to act anymore. I mean, yeah, I get Kyrie wiped his foot on the logo, but you don't throw a full water bottle at the man. I mean, that could honestly hurt him. Like, that's assault. You cannot do that. And then you see Trae Young getting spit on. That's disgusting.
It is.
Russ Westbrook getting popcorn dumped over him. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's kind of embarrassing for the sport because we're just finally getting back to live things, and now people are doing this. So what's to say they take this away from people and no more live events? You know what I mean? It's getting out of hand.
Now, before I get to it, I want to say Do you think this is really a new issue, or do you think I think it has been around? It's just now it's actually happening back to back to back. But this it always seems like there's always been something with fans crossing the line.
Yeah, there's always been a thing, but now it's getting more. All right, we haven't been there in a while. We've been in quarantine. All right, now everything's coming out at once, and people are just acting ridiculous. Like they're acting like they don't know how to act like they've never been to a football game before or a basketball game before.
Well, I think the situation, like, you buy the tickets to enjoy the game. Booing, you can make fun of the shot, you can have fun, but you have to remember at the end of the day, it's people, everyone's a person. You don't disrespect the person like that. You don't spit on them. You don't throw something at them. That's assault. If you did that to a regular person in the street, that's a fight. You're trying to start a fight. Like if you really want to throw a bottle, then get prepared to get punched in the face. So it's completely unacceptable. There's no excuse for it. Buying a ticket doesn't give you a right to disrespect someone or to harm someone. Same thing with being a fan. It doesn't give you an excuse. I don't care what he did to your team. I don't care what he did. It doesn't give you an excuse to disrespect someone like that. Now people want to mention, he stepped on the logo. And yes, you can say, okay, that's childish, but so is holding on a grudge for 2 years and we're time. But it's part of sports. I remember in our new debate group, Locked In Sports debate, that I got the message like, hey Meg, how you feel about Kyrie Irving stepping on the logo? I'm like, I'm not surprised. It's mutual dislike. I wasn't surprised. It's part of the game. If it was a good problem, then usually it's the players who's come in and step in like, hey, get off the logo, not the fans. But that's not. I mean, that's mutual dislike. That's taking it to a whole nother level of throwing something, disrespecting someone like that. And people want to talk about his comments before the game. I don't think what you're doing is you're proving his comments right. You're not helping the situation at all if you're part of this or trying to make an excuse for it. What he said was, I don't think what he said was wrong as far as it shouldn't be allowed in. He doesn't want it, and that Boston does have a pattern of it. And people talk about, so there's other places. That's the same thing of saying, but he did it too. Or if someone else follows a trip, I'm gonna follow them too. That's not gonna fix the situation. You gotta look at yourself and okay, yeah, you know what? This has happened. This has happened in pattern. This happened numerous times. Instead of complaining about, what about this place? What about this place? I'm gonna take action as far as if I see someone else, I'm gonna call them out. If I see someone throwing a bottle, I'm gonna stop them. If you really want this stigma to end, then take the step forward and stop it and show that it's not true. Don't add to the problem and complain about what about other teams, because that's not doing anything.
No, we're gonna start seeing these star players aren't gonna want to play in certain cities. We're gonna start seeing them sitting out certain games, or maybe not even flying in with the team, just because they don't want to be there because of the fans. And people are paying to see these players too. You can be a Celtics fan, but you're paying to watch LeBron come over, or paying to watch James Harden come play. If these players don't want to be there because the fans are acting ridiculous, they're not gonna play, and you're wasting your money.
I don't care how much someone pays me. No one's gonna pay me enough for someone to spit on me, or disrespect me like that.
No.
At the end of the game, it's a basketball game. At the end of the day, it's a game. Yes, we're passionate as fans. We want us to team, but there's a line. It's a basketball game. It's not. It's there's more life. I just don't get why fans don't get this concept. Don't be racist. Don't be disrespecting people. Just go to the game, enjoy the game. You want to boo, you boo. I don't get how basic knowledge of basic rules or understanding is not being applied.
Yeah, imagine someone spit on Kevin Garnett. What would he'd get back in the stand and probably knock someone out.
And honestly, I would justify that would be completely fine because that's self-defense. Honestly, I agree with Shannon Sharp. Let one of these players go. Let one of these players go next time that happens, and see if fans continue to do it.
We saw what happened with Ron Artest and Grant Hill and them, Reggie Miller. Battle in the palace.
Maybe you need to
bring in the fans.
Bring back the old days and bring back the old ways and just let them go back at it. See if they keep doing it. But no, there has to be a stop. I'm happy he got arrested because maybe he's gonna learn his lesson there. It's not acceptable at all. He doesn't belong back in the TD Garden. Anyone who does the same thing, you don't belong there. And it just needs to end. And hopefully, covering this and getting the media attention, maybe fans will be more conscious of it. And it just needs to end. It's no sense for it. It's really no sense for it. No,
it needs to be over. It's ridiculous. People don't know how to act.
It's just enjoy the game. Enjoy the game. You're taking the fun out of it. Instead of talking about, whole thing about the playoffs here, now, we gotta talk about this because it's getting ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And no one should have to be treated like that. No one should be treated like that at all. All right. So we want to thank our viewers for tuning in this Monday. And we'll see you next week. Until then, we're gonna see what happens to Julio. I'm interested to come back next season. I might be coming back crying, or I might be coming back down. Until then, we'll see you next week.